Triathlon Triumph.
It's a huge thing for Irving. They've got about 2,500 athletes.
A huge triathlon attracts thousands of athletes to Irving. We have highlights and the surprise for one winner after crossing the finish line. Never forgotten.
And we feel like these are the untold stories.
The Yellow Heart Memorial expands across the country and here in Irving. See how a new exhibit is drawing attention to people living with long-haul symptoms. Plus, our first interview with Irving's incoming police chief, how the work in this warehouse will help students, and see local firefighters on the move as wildfires rage. Now on City Source. Irving firefighters play an important role as wildfires burn in other parts of the state. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. Hear from a local firefighter coming up. But first, Irving voters headed to the polls to elect city council members. Here are the unofficial results available to us at production time. In single-member District Place 1, there will be a runoff between Tony Grimes and John Block because no candidate achieved more than 50% of the vote. That runoff is scheduled for June 18th. In at-large District Place 2, Brad M. Lamorgis ran unopposed. And in single-member District Place 7, voters re-elected Councilmember Kyle Taylor. See updates on all of this at cityofirving.org/elections. Irving's new police chief is ready to be sworn in on May 31st. After a thorough search, the city selected Derick Miller to lead the Irving Police Department. He currently serves as chief in Carrollton, and Derick Miller joins us now. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm very happy to be here.
So tell me, what was your response when you found out you got the job?
When we found out we got the job, we were very excited for the opportunity. Irving is an amazing place, and I cannot wait to get started.
What attracted you to the Irving Police Department?
You know, the city of Irving, as you well know, is an extremely vibrant city filled with many diverse people. And the opportunity to get to work here is just is top.
What are some of your priorities for the department?
You know, it's hard to come into an organization that's already running in the right direction. So my first priority is to get to know everyone, to make sure I understand what's going on inside the police department, the contemporary issues that's going on in the city, and to get to know the community.
Since you're still a few days away from taking on the responsibilities of chief in Irving, I'll ask this next question to you from a regional perspective and your role as president of the DFW Major City Police Chiefs Association. What challenges do you see for law enforcement in our area?
You know, the challenges in our area are actually across the country are mental health for our police officers. You know, we're in a dynamic time and we're all dealing with some of the same issues. You know, gun violence is on the rise, violent crime is on the rise, and those things are regional issues. So it's best to tackle those issues in a collaborative way so we can make an impact.
So when you look at some of those issues and other things such as social justice, how do you meet those challenges and overcome them?
Collaborating with the community, understanding what the issues are is key. We can sit in our offices and think we know what the issues are, but we really have to be out in the community, talking to our citizens to figure out what the real issues are.
And on that resident involvement topic, Irving Police have a lot of programs for residents. Shop Talk, PAL, Citizens Police Academy, and I could keep going. What is your take on the value of community involvement with the police department?
You hit it on the head. Community engagement, the goal of that is to build and maintain trust. Building and maintaining trust in this time is key. Without that trust, our community won't think that we're legitimate and then won't call on us when they need us. And so being in the community, engaging with the community in a meaningful way is top of mind for us.
Incoming Police Chief Derick Miller, I hope we can continue these good conversations in the months to come. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We have more from the Irving Police Department later. See highlights from the annual Blue Tie Banquet, where some officers received special honors. Moving to news from the fire department, in Texas it has been one of the worst years for wildfires in recent memory. The Texas A&M Forest Service and local fire departments have responded to more than 4,000 wildfires, and they have burned more than 450,000 acres. With all of that destruction and heartbreak comes a need for help, and 5 Irving firefighters answered that call. Mark Fine talked with one of them about the experience.
I'm a member of Texas Task Force 2, which is part of the overall Texas A&M Task Force 1 and Texas Task Force 2.
Captain Scott Wilson is one of 5 firefighters recently called into duty to help with wildfires in our state.
For a wildfire, this was unusual.
Captain Wilson's team was sent to Carbon in Eastland County, a town about 130 miles west and south of Irving. These are aerial shots that show how the fires left the entire landscape charred, black, and barren.
Their primary focus at that point was, of course, make sure everybody's out of harm's way and make sure that everybody was accounted for.
The team included canines, some that search for survivors, and others trained to search for human remains. It's a time-consuming and arduous task.
When it's looking for remains, if you will, it's a little bit slower. We're taking our time, making sure everybody's safe on the team, making sure that we're thorough with our search.
They were searching for 5 days. This is one time when coming up empty-handed was a good thing.
Went great. Everybody was accounted for at the end of the mission, and we were able to support the local jurisdiction. And at the end of the day, everybody was safe and secure.
And 5 firefighters returned to Irving knowing they did their part to help the state through a difficult time.
Being a firefighter for the city of Irving is the best job in the world.
Mark Fine for City Source.
And you may have noticed a pig in one of the pictures in that story. And that's because in addition to looking for people, the teams also look for pets. Captain Wilson told us that pig was one of several they found, and all were okay. In fact, this one hung out with the crew for part of the day. This is the time of year when we are feeling the bite of more mosquitoes. The city's code enforcement team has traps throughout the city, and captured mosquitoes are tested for disease. Additionally, there are the 4 Ds residents can follow to help protect themselves. Stay inside at dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are most active. Dress in long sleeves and pants. Use a repellent containing DEET and drain standing water. That can become a mosquito breeding ground. Learn more at irvingfightsthebite.org. A big spring sports season continues in Irving with the city welcoming USA Triathlon to host its signature event at Levy Event Plaza. Robert Sheik has the story.
In the water, by bicycle, and on foot. The best triathletes in the country descended upon Irving for a 4-day festival of fitness, creating memories to last a lifetime.
I've just been smiling for 10 minutes.
Nobody had a more unforgettable experience than Green Bay, Wisconsin native Kristen Doster. Moments after winning the national championship in her event, the aquathlon, Doster's boyfriend proposed to her.
I didn't expect actually any of it to win and get proposed to.
Doster is one of 2,500 athletes who came here to compete in the inaugural Multisport National Championships Festival, a series of 9 events hosted by USA Triathlon.
Said it's their second largest event ever for USA Triathlon, so it's a great economic boom for us.
That reputation, come to Irving.
3, 2, 1.
City leaders welcomed the event with open arms, with some even serving as honorary starters. They were excited to see their vision for Levy Event Plaza come to fruition and serve as a boost to Irving's tourism industry.
Levy Event Plaza was built just for this type of an event. We have the ability to host and bring in thousands of people. It's just been compliment after compliment after compliment. And you can see the athletes are excited to be here. So we're hoping they have a great experience this year and that they're going to continue to come back.
Hosting an event of this magnitude doesn't just require a large piece of land, it takes the right space. Levy Event Plaza is perfect, with swimming events out on Lake Carolyn, running and biking down Las Colinas Boulevard, all with incredible views of the Irving Urban Center.
None of this gets done without that city support and kind of mutual benefit, honestly, with supporting the local community, but also asking a little bit of it in return to close down roads and utilize the lake, but also show it off to the athletes.
As Irving continues to assert itself as an ideal host for events like these, the city now also has a permanent soft spot in the heart of Kristen Doster.
I got engaged in Irving, Texas. Did I think that was going to happen? No. It's now a special place for us.
Robert Sheik for City Source.
The inaugural Multisport National Championships Festival was such a success that USA Triathlon announced plans to return to Irving next year and plans to grow the event. And here's more for the athletes. The Irving Marathon running series will host Fiesta de Mayo half marathon starting and finishing at the Toyota Music Factory on May 21st. Register and learn more at irvingmarathon.com. Then another huge triathlon is coming this fall. The Professional Triathletes Organization is hosting the first ever U.S. Open with a $1 million pro prize purse at stake. Moving to other news, the country marked a sad milestone, recording the 1 millionth life lost due to COVID-19. A memorial to victims that has spread nationally has its roots in Irving. We have an update on the Yellow Heart Memorial.
My mother, Mary Castro.
Rosie Davis traveled to Washington, D.C. to read names at the National Mall
Schoenfeld,
to mark the COVID Week of Remembrance.
Jim Romanowski.
After Rosie lost her mother to COVID, she became a major national advocate, starting right here in Irving. She founded the Yellow Heart Memorial in the lobby of the Jack D. Huffman Community Building.
As long as we have people that are passing away from COVID, we still have a reason to keep going.
To mark the National Week of Remembrance, she came back to where it all started, to rehang the original memorial.
When I did this, we were at 200,000 lives that had been lost to COVID, and now we are almost at 1 million.
And there is a new feature at the exhibit.
So this is our Healing Hearts.
These pictures show people who are living with lingering impacts of COVID. They are known as long haulers.
And we feel like these are the untold stories. When you come in and you put your phone up and you can scan the QR code, and there's Amanda, and this is her whole story.
The nonprofit Yellow Heart Memorial continues to grow.
And we're about to launch in Indiana, and we're launching in Alabama.
And Rosie Davis shares her mother's story every chance she gets.
This is actually my mom's chapter.
In print, through Yellow Hearts, and by speaking to groups nationwide.
And I know that this is just the beginning.
Rosie Davis has been meeting with lawmakers in hopes of establishing permanent memorials to COVID victims. Meanwhile, you can see the Healing Hearts portion of that memorial through the end of June in the lobby of the Jack D. Huffman Community Building next to City Hall. The lobby is open weekdays from 8:30 until 5 and Saturdays from 10 until 4. The City of Irving budget team is looking for input. Planning for the next fiscal year is underway. You can email the budget team at askthebffs@cityofirving.org. You can use that email for questions or feedback. And in case you're wondering, BFFs in this case stands for Budget Fiscal Friends. The Irving Schools Foundation has added new programs and staff in response to a surge in demand. The nonprofit now provides meals, uniforms, and more. The organization had really outgrown the small closet it used for storage. So when that problem got solved, it was cause for celebration. Take a look. This cheer made for the sports field works here as well. That's because the Irving Schools Foundation is celebrating a big victory.
Cut it.
Students and community leaders came together to mark the grand opening of a new warehouse.
It was something that we just didn't think was achievable.
Now, throughout the year, we can collect donations here. And food is the biggest one.
The foundation has seen a surge in demand for its Food for Thought program, which provides bags of food for students in need.
Some of our families don't have any food for the weekend or sometimes for the week, and so this makes a huge impact for our kids.
Actually, we've got a few fifth graders here too.
Students are among those who volunteer to fill food bags for their peers.
These kids build about 120 bags a week. They don't ask where they're going. They just want to make sure that kids are getting exactly what they need. And as you can see, they're little machines right now.
Previously, there was no room to store and prepare everything. In fact, the foundation would have to turn down donations because there was simply no space to store them. Now they have plenty of room to store food, school supplies for the annual backpack giveaway, and even bikes. Also, community groups can come in to volunteer.
We're here to serve. That's what we're here for.
A few months back, City of Irving department directors helped prepare hundreds of food bags for local families.
This gives us the ability to bring the public in, have them see the program that we have, and feel like they can have a hand in helping a child.
Along with Food for Thought, this warehouse also houses a uniform store where school counselors can pick up clothing for students in need, and the C2C store,
which stands for Community to Classroom. Our community donates to our store, and our teachers can come in and get whatever they need.
Back in the 1980s, Ann Pfaff started the Irving Schools Foundation.
So thank you to Ann for your foresight.
We farmed it to enhance the educational opportunities of the students. Who would have thought this, they just increased.
And a lot of people see the impact, preparing students for the future.
I've had a lot of students get scholarships over the years.
And meeting today's challenges in the classroom. When there are certain behavior issues,
The first question I asked them was, did you eat today? And a lot of time that answer is no. With food for thought, this completely fits that need. And so it helps with that falling asleep. It helps with the worrying.
Hats off to our school district. These guys do an amazing job.
On this day, they have plenty to celebrate.
It means that you care a lot about the community.
As they make a difference in the lives of thousands of students in the Irving Independent School District.
But it's been absolutely incredible to see this program grow.
And the Irving Schools Foundation also recently hosted Breakfast with the Stars at the Irving Convention Center. At that ceremony, the organization awarded scholarships to more than 220 students, and those scholarships totaled more than $440,000. During another event at the Convention Center, the Irving Police Department honored some of its own. Check out highlights from the 26th Annual Blue Tie Banquet.
Tonight we're having our annual Police Awards Banquet to honor the men and women of the police department.
It's an opportunity for us to say thank you.
I look forward to this every year. Community policing, I put us as #1 in the nation.
Well, that's one of the things that's always been what I believe a real asset to Irving is that the community is supportive of their police department.
Our residents recognize and appreciate what you're doing for them.
It just feels really good to have the community out here. Whoever wins it, we're all like a big family here, and whoever wins it, we're happy for them.
The 2021 Civilian of the Year is Taylor Green.
The new Officer of the Year is Daniel Vallejo.
I know they hear a lot about all the good work we do, but tonight is just an opportunity to highlight some of the very special works that the officers have done.
Supervisor of the Year is Sergeant Kevin McCowan. The Chiefs Unit Award is presented to the Fugitive Unit.
This benefits the Irving Police Foundation. Tell me about that organization.
The Irving Police Foundation benefits officers who've been injured or lost in the line of duty, benefits their families, so it's a really good cause for our department. The 2021 Officer of the Year is Officer Krista King.
I'm surprised.
She was tasked with several complex cases.
Irving police are making a plea asking victims in a sexual abuse case to come forward. Police say they have evidence that shows Von Blackwolf's crimes date back to at least 1986.
Since that press release, Detective King has submitted 14 more supplements that include possible victims of sexual abuse.
We put in a lot of time and effort into everyone's cases. Everyone's important.
Krista is a member of the family support team.
Very, very proud of the department. There's so many officers throughout the department that work hard every single day that deserve this, I feel like.
Along with the awards you just saw there, the department honored members of the Irving Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association and local businessman Roy Santascoy for all he has done to support the department. The On Stage at Heritage series is drawing people to the newly expanded Heritage Park. Already this year, people have turned out for trivia, movie night, and more. On Stage at Heritage continues on June 10th with live music from Donovan Keith. July 8th is movie night with Raya and the Last Dragon showing on the big screen. All events start at 6:30 p.m. Organizers say you may want to bring a lawn chair or blanket. Events continue the second Friday of each month through September. Heritage Park was also the site of the city's annual Arbor Day celebration, and we saw some of the fun.
So today is Arbor Day in the city of Irving.
Today we're celebrating our 13th anniversary of Tree City, USA with a big old tree celebration.
There's tree rappelling, there's face painting, there's all kinds of things.
We've had a big increase through this COVID time where more and more people have come out to the parks, enjoying themselves, get fresh air. And they've noticed that trees do make a big difference.
We're encouraging children and adults, if they want to come get a very brief taste of tree climbing, we have our guys, they put them in a tree saddle and they help pull them up in the tree and kind of show them what they do on a daily basis. Happy to be here, and I hope everybody gets a free tree and go Arbor Day.
As part of the city's participation in the Tree City USA program, Irving also has a tree board and works with local schools on educational programs. The Interfaith Alliance of Irving and Friends of Irving Gardens teamed up to host an Earth Day event at Birds Fort Trail Park. Representatives from a diverse range of faith groups said prayers and offered other positive thoughts for the planet.
The vision is to create harmony and unity in the community, for us to celebrate our similarities, our differences, build bridges across faiths, and at the same time do meaningful things for our city.
Members of the Interfaith Alliance of Irving have been among a group of volunteers working with Friends of Irving Gardens to improve this butterfly garden at the park.
The butterfly garden is in its second spring season, and I could not imagine it doing any better than it is right now. As you can see behind us, many different flowers are in bloom. You're starting to see different insects as well, but I think maybe as it gets warmer, we'll see more butterflies.
This is a commercially made. It costs $10 at Home Depot.
Also at that event, owner of the H. Farrell Hog Bottoms Refuge, Jim Widener, talked about creating habitats for bees. The groups plan to continue this observance each year. Here's something for kids to enjoy this summer. The Animal Connection Experience is open at Fritz Park through July 30th. You can see some of the activities, petting zoo animals, pony rides, and more. The experience is open 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Wednesdays through Saturdays and noon to 5 on Sundays. Admission is $4 for Irving residents with ID. An exhibit at the Irving Archives and Museum has a special take on America's pastime. We'll take you inside. Also, after months of construction, Williams Square Plaza, home of the iconic Mustangs, is ready to open. See some of the new features. And check out this party. Students celebrate with police after raising record-setting money for Special Olympics. Those stories and much more next time. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. Also, find us on YouTube. Our channel is at youtube.com/thecityofirving. And while you're there, keep in mind that we always appreciate the likes and positive comments. And look for updates on events and initiatives across the major social media platforms at the City of Irving. And that's it for this edition of City Source. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.